The sky was the color of wet cement, gray, cold, heavy, just like my chest. We buried my mother on a Thursday, the kind of small-town funeral where everyone knows your name and your business. The pastor murmured prayers that barely touched my ears. I stood next to my brother, Thomas, trying not to flinch every time someone offered me a hand or a look of pity. And then, she arrived. A flash of red sliced through the sea of black. A woman in a scarlet dress and dark sunglasses stepped out of a sleek black car. Holding on to Thomas's arm like she'd belonged there all along, my stomach dropped so fast I thought I might faint. The umbrella nearly slipped from my hand. Her name is Alina. She walked with that same graceful, calculating step. Her hair was darker now, curled at the ends. But the smirk hidden under polite grief was unmistakable. My brother, poor blind fool, introduced her as his girlfriend to the guests. We met a few months ago. She's been a rock. I felt like I was choking. Alina wasn't just someone from my past. She was the past that ruined my future. 7 years ago, I fell for her like a fool. She made me believe we were building something real. She told me I was brilliant, that she saw potential in me when no one else did. And then she stole from me. She cleaned out my bank account, vanished from our shared apartment, and left me with a mountain of debt. I nearly lost everything: my job, my home, my sanity. I told no one, not even Thomas. I couldn't face the shame. Now here she was, at my mother's funeral, wearing red. On my brother's arm, the rage bubbled under my skin like acid, but I said nothing. Not yet. This wasn't the moment. Instead, I watched her every move, the fake comfort she offered Thomas, the tears she dapped perfectly timed, the way she smiled at our aunt like she belonged in the family. She even helped serve tea at the house afterward, like she was some generous angel. But I noticed the way she looked at me, like she knew I wouldn't dare speak. Not here, not now. She thought I was still that quiet fool from before, but grief has a way of clearing the fog. And I wasn't going to lose another person I loved to her. Not without a fight. I couldn't sleep that night. I lay on the living room couch in Mom's old house, staring at the ceiling fan spinning slow and silent, like it was counting down. Thomas and Alina were staying in the guest room, her suitcase neatly placed beside Mom's sewing cabinet like she belonged here. I couldn't stop replaying it. 7 years ago, the week before my startup's prototype was scheduled to launch, Alina had been my girlfriend for nearly a year. I trusted her with everything: my passwords, my plans, my optimism. We were going to change the world. I believed. She was charming, sharp, supportive. She made me feel seen. And then one morning, I woke up to silence. No coffee brewing, no keys jingling. Just an empty apartment and an emptied bank account. Every minus one of my savings gone. Laptop gone. Backup hard drive gone. I was too humiliated to report her. I didn't even know her real last name. My friends said I was lucky she didn't take more, but she did. She took my dignity, my future, my ability to trust. And now she was in my mother's house, sleeping beside my brother. The next afternoon, I cornered her. I waited until Thomas went to pick up takeout. She was in the garden, trimming the hydrangeas like she was the grieving daughter-in-law. "You must have nerves of steel," I said. She didn't even flinch, just glanced up, cool as ever. "I wondered when you'd say something. You think I'm going to let you do to him what you did to me?" She smiled faintly. "You think this is about you?" I froze. Alina reached into her purse and pulled out an envelope. She handed it to me without another word. Inside were photos, dozens of them. My mother and Alina, in cafes, in bookstores, walking through the park, laughing, hugging. "I met her first," Alina said softly, 2 years ago. "She knew what I did to you. She knew everything. And she forgave me." I couldn't speak. "She wanted me to find you again. Not to hurt you, to fix what I broke." I stared at her, jaw tight. She knew she was dying. "She said Thomas would listen to me when he wouldn't listen to anyone else. Said you needed someone who wasn't afraid of your walls." I didn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. But those photos were real. And suddenly, the weight of my hatred felt misplaced. The wool was red. 3 days later, in the same living room where we grew up under the antique clock that hadn't ticked since 2008, Thomas sat beside Alina, his fingers interlaced with hers. I still didn't know how to look at her. My emotions churned like wet cement: grief, betrayal, guilt, confusion. But I couldn't stop thinking about those photos, or the envelope my mother had written in her shaky, familiar script. If you're reading this, it means I'm gone. And she stayed. The lawyer cleared his throat and began reading. Standard stuff at first. The house, the heirlooms, the savings, a few specific requests for distant cousins and friends. And then one sentence that hit harder than all the others, too. My sons, Thomas and David, I leave equal shares of my remaining estate. But to Alina, I leave my blessing and the truth. Everyone shifted. The lawyer pulled out a second envelope. This one had been sealed separately. Your mother asked that Alina read this aloud. Thomas looked surprised, but nodded. Alina stood, carefully unfolding the paper. Her voice was quieter than I'd ever heard it. David, I know you hate her. I don't blame you, but I saw her come back when she didn't have to. I saw her care when she had no reason to. That's what changed my mind. I asked her to make peace between my boys. I asked her to stay close, no matter how you looked at her, because people don't stay where they feel hated, but she did. That means something. She paused, swallowed. I realized her hands were shaking. I forgive her. I ask you to try for me. The silence that followed was an honest. Later that night, the family gathered one last time for dinner. No suits, no tears, just leftovers, and many memories. Thomas pulled me aside while Alina washed dishes in the kitchen. I didn't know anything until she told me, he said. If you want me to ask her to leave. I shook my head. No, if Mom saw something in her, maybe I need to see it too. And just like that, the walls began to crack. We stood by the window after dinner. The three of us, me, my brother, and the woman who once ruined me. I still didn't know what came next, but for the first time in years, I didn't feel like I had to carry it alone.